Right then, so we are very, very, very close to WrestleMania 41, and it looks like Paul Heyman is in a massive dilemma right now, especially after Monday Night Raw last night and after Friday Night SmackDown a few days ago. What is actually going to happen here? It is very, 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 very interesting stuff. I mean, I think it is safe to say Paul Heyman will definitely be turning on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. I'm very confident in that he's not going to be Team Roman Reigns. But because as we saw, he after the favor that he owes CM Punk, he had to be on CM Punk's side in the triple threat match with Seth Rollins and Roman at WrestleMania. But he is the special counsel of Roman Reigns, and he did say on Raw when he spoke out about the whole situation, he will always be loyal to Roman Reigns, but he will also always be loyal to CM Punk. But after Seth Rollins purposely missed a stomp on Paul Heyman, he now owes Seth Rollins a favor. So what is going on with that situation? What favor does Paul Heyman owe Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania now? And that makes it interesting. But I think it's safe to say Roman Reigns will definitely be turned on, and the guy can't catch a break with betrayal at the moment. And I think it's safe to say he is turning on Roman Reigns. Everything adds up to it as well. And I think, Seth Rollins might have got into the head of Paul Heyman a bit, and that might kind of be part of what the favor is. Seth's got into the head of Paul Heyman, saying that Roman Reigns was being pretty manipulative to him. And that, he was never there for him. And Paul Heyman was even shaking his head saying, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. And that's the same thing for CM Punk. CM Punk was never there for Paul Heyman either when, he was put from a table by Solo Sikoa. Seth Rollins was spitting facts and was right with everything that he said in that promo last night on Raw to Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins was 100% right. And that probably might have got in the head of Paul Heyman. And now Paul Heyman might want to turn on both Roman Reigns and CM Punk as, saying you were never there for me. I don't really care about you either. That could be a big thing because Roman doesn't care about Paul Heyman. He is clearly using Paul Heyman. We all know that. But people still see Roman Reigns as a babyface, though. But I think the real babyface overall in this match is Seth Rollins, even though he is pretty snaky himself. But I think Seth Rollins should win this match at WrestleMania. And I feel like it would probably be Seth Rollins walking out with Paul Heyman. And overall, this match is probably a custody match for Paul Heyman. And could that be the favor? Could Seth Rollins want the favor to be it is a custody match for Paul Heyman? Whoever wins gets Paul Heyman. I mean, that could be something. I feel like that's kind of the route that they might have to go down at this point, because let's be real here. Paul Heyman is the real talking point of this whole storyline. Paul Heyman is the main man in this whole storyline between Roman, CM Punk, and Seth. I mean, we've got those side ones as well with CM Punk and Seth. They've been feuding for years. Obviously, same as Roman and Seth, obviously with the Shield and everything, the history they've got. So that's something there as well. Then Roman Reigns and CM Punk at War Games, and now the favor that he owes, that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk with the CM Punk and Roman situation. So that makes things very interesting as well. And it's a big dilemma with what Paul Heyman does. What does he actually want to do? Has Seth got in the head, or is Paul Heyman actually a really loyal guy? Because, he has been loyal to CM Punk all these years. It was CM Punk who was disloyal by leaving. Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman's been loyal to him. It was Roman Reigns who turned on him back in 2020. So Roman Reigns has never really been loyal to Paul Heyman at all. And I feel like eventually this whole thing with Roman and Paul has got to end, and we see Paul get revenge on Roman Reigns and really try and, bite back a bit. And CM Punk as well. So Seth Rollins is the one who is really, really fully talking facts to Paul Heyman. And that could get in Paul Heyman's head. But he's got a dilemma here of what he does want to do. What is the deal going to be? Is it going to be Paul Heyman just screws them over at WrestleMania? Because that is probably the most likely one that we can think of. Seth Rollins obviously has never wanted CM Punk to main event WrestleMania, because Seth Rollins try and make that match now not be main event WrestleMania, even though Seth's in himself. So I can't see that being the case. But I'm just saying random ideas here, though. But he's been caught in the middle of it here, Paul Heyman. He has been. and he's got a big choice to make. But I think his loyalty to Roman Reigns is seriously in jeopardy. It is, without a shadow of a doubt. We all know for a fact. But I reckon it could be Seth Rollins now becoming a Paul Heyman guy, and we just see a completely new narrative for Paul Heyman after WrestleMania. And WrestleMania, there are loads of things that happen. There are there are new feuds coming about. There are feuds ending. Narratives end, storylines end, and new storylines can start. And this could be between Seth and Paul Heyman. I think it's got to be at this point. We need to see something fresh for Seth. We need to see something fresh for Paul Heyman. And let's see what happens with Roman Reigns. Could Roman Reigns then go on another break after WrestleMania? I mean, there's loads of questions to be answered, but I think loads of people slagging off this storyline have got to stop because there's loads of questions to be answered. But Paul Heyman's the main man around this whole thing now, which makes things interesting. But without a shadow of a doubt, he is going to be involved in the match. Although Seth Rollins did say the favor could be, I mean, he was saying to Paul Heyman, "Oh, I can get you out of this whole thing with a simple stomp, with a simple kick to the back of the head." What is going to happen here? What is going on?